One of the best charting platforms any trader can use is Tradingview.com. It is one of the most sophisticated places to chart your trades and make money. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the best features on it, how to use it, how to set it up, and more. Stay tuned. So this is Market Move's brand new channel. Make sure you subscribe. I run a professional options trading group, and this is the only place I go to chart any single setup I will give to my traders. Here we are at tradingview.com, and if you saw this platform, you probably know it's best when you're charting on it. A lot of people trade on it. A lot of people use the community features, but me specifically and a lot of the traders in my group will use this charting feature I'm going to show you. So I'm going to give you the most in-depth tutorial on how it works and how to use it, but I'm also going to go over the community features, the price, and all those other details later. But I'm going to cover the bread and butter right now, really what you came here for. And first off, I just want to change this back to the original setting. So right now I have the black on the background, and what I want to do is just change it back to white. So this is normally what I use for when I'm showing people how it works. And it doesn't really show too much, and it's pretty basic. And from there, I'm going to go to add more things, adjust the colors and whatnot, so I can show that to you right now as we're going through it. So as you can see, this is the chart. It's white. We're in dark mode on the background, but this is MGM, this is a stock, and this is the candlesticks. If we're going to go to the top up here, I'm going to go through all of those and show you what they do. The first thing is this is where you go to the time frames. So we have the minutes chart, and if I click that, it drops it down. We have the hourly chart. If I click that, it drops it down, and then the daily, weekly, monthly chart. You can also add your own time frame. So you can add like a yearly time frame if you want to see how the stock has done in the last couple of years. And I think I've done that in the past, but I don't have it as a setting right now. So this is the monthly time frame. I'm going to switch it. This is, as you can see, just all the candlesticks piled in for those monthly candles. Now the next thing I want to do is just go to the right, and we're going to change the candlesticks to something else. So we can change the candlesticks to bars, and a lot of people like looking at bars. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes the best traders, favor bars over candlesticks. And you can also change it to lines. You can change it to area, so it just shows the area underneath it. But for me, I'm basic, I'm simple, I like candlesticks. And the best part about candlesticks is I have 2 books, Bulletproof setups, Recession-Proof setups. They're $3. They just tell you my best setups ever in the stock market, and they're just linked in the bio. They contain candlestick setups as well as Bollinger Band and moving average setups. And we're going to be going through some of those setups in this video, so it's better to get educated on the side too. So here we are. We have the compare. This compares it to something else. It can compare the chart I have right now to maybe, let's say, Apple. So if I type in Apple, if I click all, it's going to show me Apple stock. And if I click that, I can now compare it to the chart that we're looking at. So as you can see, we have a line up here and a line down here. And now if we look to the right, we see the comparison between the percentages on these two. So the SPY has returned about 63% on what you're seeing on this screen. So from 2012 all the way up to 2020, about 8 years, we're seeing 63% return. Apple, on the other hand, is seeing 348% return. So this is pretty useful for someone who wants to see if their ETF or if their index fund is beating a stock or another index fund. So it's pretty cool if you want to compare it, maybe for long-term investors. I'm going to get rid of this comparison line here and go back to the original chart. So here we are back on the monthly chart for the SPY. The next thing I want to do is show you indicators, because this is the best part about Tradingview.com is all of the indicators. It's unlike any other platform because we have a community of people on Tradingview.com making their own indicators so you can use them. So for example, if I want to know the advanced decline line, so stocks advancing versus declining, it's going to put that at the bottom here. So down here I have advanced decline, and as we can see, the line is starting to turn over. We're starting to have more decliners as we overtake the advancers. So this is only seen from this indicator. It's a really cool and helpful indicator. but most people, and me specifically, I'm going to show you my set of indicators I use and the best indicators that most traders will use. Number one, we call it the Bollinger Band, whatever you want to say. I always add that to whatever I'm trading. The very next thing is a moving average. So I'm going to click moving average, boom, add it to the screen. And then I always have 2 or 3. So one more moving average, click it, boom, add it to the screen. The last thing, not many people do get this. Everyone in my trading group has access to it though. The market mover indicator. It's locked right now, but if I click it, boom, add it to my screen because I made it. So obviously I'm gonna have access to it. And then the last one is the alert. It's also my personal indicator that is just related to the market mover. So that's how you add indicators to your screen and check it out. Boom, we got Bollinger Bands, moving averages, my indicator down here, as well as the alert. And what we want to do now is customize the indicators based off our preference. So for example, I don't like a moving average this thin, nor do I like it with that small of a length. I want a 50 moving average on my screen, and I want the line not to be purple or yellow, I want it to be purple. Sorry, colors mixed around. And I also want to change it to a circle, so a circle line. And maybe I want it to be a little bit thicker so I can see it better on my screen. So I'm going to make it the 3rd thickness, and as you can see, all this customization just allows me to have now the 50 moving average of circles on my screen. Pretty cool. And as you can see, this is one of the fewest times we've ever crossed the 50 MA for the SPY 500. So a very bearish time in the stock market. And I'm also going to add a pink one that's going to be the 3rd thickness. And I want to make this the 200 because that's a very important moving average for the stock market. And if we ever cross the 200 on the monthly, it's going to be a dark time. So there we are. We got the 50 and the 200. We have all my indicators set up, ready to go, ready to make money. The last thing is, if you pay for Tradingview Premium, which is what I have, you can get volume profiles. And volume profiles is something I add all the time. I click visible range, and I do not like how thick they are. So the one thing I do is I double click, and I will actually change the inputs. So I'll make the row size probably around 60, just so it's a little thinner and easier to look at. And this just shows me more details on the volume profile. And I'll turn the POC off, and that's it. So that's the volume profiles. It just shows me support, resistance, and gives me places to start buying and selling the stock. And this is very, very exciting for traders to look at. And that is the last indicator I will add. If you want to look for more, you can add your own scripts in here. I have about 4 scripts. You can go to the public library, look at all the scripts anyone's ever written on this platform. Super cool. You can just have fun with it, learn about new things people are using. But that is just one abyss that you're going to go into and just spend months and months absorbing information from. Next thing is financials. You can look at the income statements, the balance sheet, cash flow, all that stuff. And if I click the basic EPS, it's just going to be plotted at the bottom of the screen. So the SPY does not return money. So let's go to Apple. So there we are, earnings per share. And we're seeing the quarterlies as well as what's happening for the earnings per share. So as we can see, we're having this next Q1's kind of cut off, but let's delete that and move this up just a bit. Yeah, we had $5 a share, pretty big from last time, and $3 a share, pretty small from the time before. So that can put financials on there. Super helpful for traders who want to understand if the stock has strength or if the stock is just an overvalued piece of crap. But that is something that is good for investors, long-term investors as well. What you can do is you can go to templates, and I can save this template and just call it what you want, whether it's YouTube, free video, tutorial, or whatever. And this template you can click on later. And again, I'll just click my favorite template. This is the one I like to have. This is the one I'm normally using. So I'm going to keep that one up, and I'm actually going to change to the blackout because I do like that a lot. Boom, looks so dang good. And again, we lost the volume profiles. Oh, there they are. So that's everything I have. This is my setup. And now we're going to keep moving through it. So what we can do is add alerts. So let's say if we want to know when Apple crosses 200, I can put an alert, 200. If it crosses, it can send me a notification on the app. You can download the app, get notifications. I already have it, pretty cool. You can get a pop-up on your computer, you can get an email, you can get a webhook. So I get these sent to my trading group. So if anything happens in the stock market, alerts get sent straight to my trading group through this webhook. It's called alertron.com. Pretty sweet. And also we get a message. We can say Apple crossing this number, look for puts. This is usually what I tell my group. If something happens like X, Y, or Z, I will say look for puts. And then we can also, if it crosses a moving average, I can alert myself. If it crosses a Bollinger Band, I can alert myself. If it crosses any of these things, I can alert. Maybe the market mover. Whenever the market mover tells me to sell a stock, I'll get alerted. That's pretty cool too. So we can do crossing, less than, greater than, entering channel, all that. So that's all I got on the alerts. I am one for overusing the alerts. I love setting them up and having them just get blasted out when I'm not paying attention. So I could just enter the market right away and profit. And I think that's very helpful. The next thing I want to show you is the replay. So if you are, let's say, if you want to practice trading, practice charting, what would you do in this scenario? So what do you think is going to happen here? If I'm looking at this chart, can I predict what's going to happen? And can I do it without risking money? Yes, you can do that because we have this replay feature. So you can go back in time and just basically rechart the market, see what's happening. Like right here, I would draw a trend line. And that was a really quick movement, so I'm just going to go over it one more time. The trend line is right over here. And all you have to do is click this. And if you click the over arrow, you can go to trend angle, horizontal line, horizontal ray, anything here, arrow, ray, parallel channel. All this stuff will allow you to post it on your screen. And then once you click this cursor feature, it'll allow you to drag and basically move through your screen. So that is a trend line, and I can adjust it based off of what I'm looking at. And again, this is a setup I will give to my traders. This looks like a wedge in my opinion. So this is really cool. You're going to see live what's going to happen to this wedge once I click play. Because again, this is past data for the market. So once we start moving, we're going to see how it reacts to this wedge feature. So you guys ready? This button is down here. So we have the speed as well as the arrows for moving forward bars. So I'm going to click play. And we're just basically going to see the market roll like it's real time almost. Click, 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 click. And I guarantee, we bust through the bottom and it triggers puts, or we hit the top and it triggers puts. But either way, this is a pretty bearish pattern. And as you see, we keep hitting this support line right here, hitting it, hitting it, hitting it, and we broke it down. So as a trader, I would be looking for puts once we break down this line. And then boom, bottom Bollinger Band getting touched, and soon enough, bottom moving average is about to be touched. So as you can see, this helps you train yourself as a trader. We're just seeing things move, and we can plot as we go. We can just basically see how the market would react to our plans. So right now, we would have crushed this trade because we would have played the breakout from the wedge, a very bearish pattern, and boom, we got a bearish play from that. Normally what happens is it goes back up to all-time highs again because this is a short-term pattern. This is definitely one I have in my book, Bulletproof Setups. Okay, so this is a wedge breakout, and this is normally what happens. We end up going higher and higher, and let's move this line. Let's see if we end up hitting this line and bouncing off it. Here we go, boom, so bounced off it. Very good resistance level for the future. So it's very, very amazing how you can use this to actually learn in real time and chart and play. So as you can see, this line is held for a while, just keeping the market and the stock down, really, really keeping us down. And if you're tired of looking in the past, just click the X button over here and it'll send you straight to the future. And you'll see the chart of what we're looking at today. Boom. Now let's move over to the left side of the screen, which is going to be all your tools and features to chart the market. We're going to click over on this thing and we're going to see a lot of advanced things I don't even use. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't really even look at any of these things. We have pitch fans, pitchforks, fib retracements, GAN fans, all this stuff that is honestly too much. If you have one or two things in here you know how to make money with, that's fine. But personally, if you're looking for 30 other different tools to make money, you're stretching yourself. But let's look at what a pitchfork is. So let's try again. I basically failed at throwing this on there. So what I'll do something I know that's pretty easy. Let's just do over here a fib retracement. So if I just go up from the bottom of the trend to the top, it's pretty easy. So now we can just see the most important levels if we ever retrace lower. So that's the bottom move to the top. If we drop down, you know, the most important level is the 50% retracements as well as the 60. And if we ever get down to like the 100, that'd be a scary place. But that's one you can use. Again, I'm not a pro with this stuff. I'm only a pro with entering things at extreme support and resistance, honestly. Yeah, I'm not going to go through any more of those. The next one is actually one I use more exclusively. This is rectangles, triangles. These are just shapes you can throw on. I use this to kind of document trades and stuff. And this next box I use even more, which is texts and call outs and balloons, price labels, arrows, all good stuff. So what I might do for my traders is call out, like right here I would say something like bounce, whoops, I would say we bounced off bottom Bollinger Band and moving average. So they could see basically what happened in that setup and why it worked out. And if this is too big for you, just change it to like 12. And this just helps you document your trades. So as a trader, it's super important that you talk about why you got in something and explain it well enough that you can explain it to someone else. So right here, you know, I documented this bottom move and why I was excited about it. And I would have told my traders, this is the reason why we're getting in. So that is the documentation. You could also just do text on the top of the screen to maybe even talk about, like, you know, this is the Apple 323.20 play. So this could be an overview of your play. And what you could do, this is another good thing. Once it's all pretty and it looks nice and you documented your trade or documented whatever setup you like, you can just save this picture, screenshot it, tweet it, whatever you want. But once it's full screen, it looks real, it looks pretty, and this is where I would end up, you know, throwing it to my traders. So documentation is huge, and this platform makes it really easy to do that. Just with this one text box section over here, we have balloons, callouts, all that stuff. And again, another super confusing patterns and tools that I don't really use. So this is another section, the ABCD pattern, triangle pattern. All this stuff is over my head. Head and Shoulders, something I will normally use, but most of this stuff I'm not using. So I would not suggest you try to get into any of this stuff unless you have knowledge that someone else is having success with it. But I think it's really just more confusion than it needs to be. So this next section, pretty cool. You can just plot long positions on your screen. So if you want to get into, let's say, Apple right here, you can plot the P&L as well as the risk to reward and all that stuff. So here we are. I'm just going to move this over. If we got in at this exact moment, I'm looking to only risk, let's say, 5% down. And I would love to just let it run to all-time highs. So this is a setup that is possible. Just you can see it visually, and it's going to calculate everything for you. So if you click it, it's going to show you risk to reward, which is going to be 7-to-1. Great risk to reward. And it's going to show you how much you're risking, which is a 5% drop, 12 on Apple, as well as what you're trying to make, which is 40% pop, $93 in Apple. And what you could do is you could also set alerts at these price levels. So when things happen, you can just automate that. So that's pretty cool. I like that feature a lot. That's more so documentation. Also lets you just show what could happen in that trade. You can forecast it, date range, price range, all this stuff. Again, don't use it as much. And then we have like an emoji screen. So again, don't use these as much. If you want to get super fancy documenting it, you could go up in the ranks on the community tab. But most of the time, you know, most people don't care what emojis you have. I like this one more so than not. This is a measure feature. You can just measure P&Ls as well as time, so how many bars it took to get to a certain level. So it looks like it took us 45 monthly bars, 45 months to make 265% in Apple. 45 months, 265%. That is not too bad. You can also do magnets. So weak magnet, strong magnet. Basically, if you're attaching things to the candlesticks, it's going to stick really hard sometimes on them, or it's not going to, depending on which magnet feature you have. So the weak magnet is just going to stick things a little bit less, and you can stay in draw mode or not. Last thing is you can lock in tools. You can turn on and off things. So if I put a bunch of trend lines on here, like Alt-H, you can click this I button and they're gone. So if you just want to look at your screen without them for a second, that's super quick and easy. The next thing I want to do is show you the right side of the screen. So we went over the left side of the screen with the arrows and basically how you use the text, how you use all the tools, and this is what I normally use on the left side. But now on the right side, again, is stuff that is not too important to me, but it could be to you. The first thing is the news, the details, the watch lists. That is just everything that's on yours. So if you have stocks you like, you can throw them on here, and then you can just pull them up in real time, see where they're heading to. And once you click it, it'll pull it up on your screen as well as the news and some more information down low. But once I close that, you can also import watch lists. I have things listed from blue, red, green too. So they're also categorized. But once I close that, I can head to my alert section, and any alerts that I've had go off are going to come off down here. And any alerts I have still waiting to be triggered are going to be in this section. And again, I had SFIX triggered today, as well as GS, as well as SPY, I think. So GS, let's just check it out real quick. This is one to my trading group. I told my trading group, we could bounce if we stay above this range for GS. And we opened up below it, so it didn't work out. But SFIX, I was telling them we could sell off from this white line, which is what we did today. So SFIX was an alert that could have been played for a win. That's the alert section. The data window, this just shows you everything about this stock, all the data behind it, the open, close, high, low, as well as some of your indicator values. So we have the moving average 10, or the 50, the 200, the 10, as well as the volume. And if you just scroll through it, it's going to give you all the details of each bar. So each bar is going to have a different amount of volume and all that stuff. So that's just extra data. And the cool thing is you can just see it really easily on the screen here. Like if you just pop this arrow down, you see all the data just hanging out there. And if you don't like one thing, like a Bollinger Band, you just click mute and it pops off. So let's go to the Bollinger Band. Gone, gone, gone. So you can take it off fully with the X, you can hide it with the I, and then you can have the settings change it with that button. Moving on, we got the hot lists, which is just basically things happening that are exciting in the market. And this is, you can just sort it from volume gainers. There's plenty of them to go through. We got percent change gainers, percent change losers. All of these can really help you in the US market or any other market, just capture momentum. So that's the whole point of using these lists, is capturing momentum in the moment. So these are all the hot lists or the hot gainers at the moment. You could just have fun with these in the market, but this is not something I use. I don't really use any scanners, honestly. Next one is calendar. So what's happening on the calendar? And today, what was happening is right here. We had a lot of companies reporting earnings, and you can basically sort. So if you don't want things from China on here reporting earnings, you can change that. Or if you just want Australia news, you can do that. That's pretty helpful. Next one is my ideas. If you have an idea about like shorting Apple, just go for it. Apple short now, and it'll save the chart. So whatever you have here, you can put in text, pictures, all that stuff. It could be analysis, it could be a tutorial. Maybe you're explaining how to use a Bollinger Band on this. And you can also do investment strategies. So this is a short position. I'm also going to categorize this as whatever I want. Maybe it's a trend. So that could be helpful. And then we can do tags. So people can find me on this platform if I tag Apple, Apple Spy, Apple, and Apple. So this is an idea, and I can also tweet it out. You could do a public or private idea just by switching this on and off. And I could just say, Apple puts look good now. And once I publish this, it's going to go out to all my followers. And you can kind of build a pretty good following on Tradingview. So it's a pretty exciting place to build a community, get to know traders, and just get amazing ideas. So you could probably get this from other people. Maybe if you're following people, you can see their ideas. Or this could just be a list of your ideas. So you could go through every week to see what trades you're looking at. And you can also see what you had planned. You could execute those trades if they actually happen. And then this is where it gets crazy. We have a lot of chat rooms, currencies, forex, stocks and indexes, and just people always in these chat rooms. And people love being part of a community. These chat rooms are pretty good place to find those people to interact with. And we have private messages. So a lot of people message me trying to get indicator access if they can't. A lot of people message me just to say hi. That's just my DMs right there pretty much. And then the next thing is the ideas stream. And this is probably related to the ideas of that one box, which is my ideas. But the ideas stream is probably going to be everyone's ideas. So everyone you follow. I don't have people I follow, so obviously I don't have ideas on here. Notifications, this is just what happened. This is like Facebook notifications, Instagram. A lot of people liking my script and a lot of people using it. So I'm just getting updates on that normally. And then lastly, we got arrows on order panel. If you want to connect this to your broker and actually start trading, you can do that. It's not that hard. Some brokers, it's easier than others, but this one is just not connected to mine. So they don't have Thinkorswim, unfortunately, so I can't trade on here. And I'm an options trader, so it doesn't really matter if I'm trading with this platform because they only trade stocks. And as you can see, we got the DOM. This is basically for high-end traders that know how to execute in real time, buy and sell really quickly. It could just be a couple finger or a couple buttons to buy 100 shares, sell 100 shares, go flat, P&L, all that stuff. But this is high-end stuff that a lot of traders will get into when they're day trading, maybe penny stocks or whatnot. So that's the right side, the top, the left side, and we're going to get to the bottom now. So the bottom is definitely where a lot of the excitement is for traders. We have here is a stock screener, and I've gone through this before. I'm just going to lightly go through it one more time. This is a great place to go through stocks and screen based off your requirements. If you want to find the best dividend stocks, they have a one in there for you already you can scan through. I'm going to go through overview and just show you some filters you can add. So normally I might be trading things that have a price, and I'll type in price because I want to sort through that. Price of 15 to 20 bucks at the lowest end. So I want to make sure that our price is that low. And I don't see price in there, so let's change it to last, which is also price. L-A-S-T. Come on. And this is going to tell me that. So the last is above 18. Perfect. That's what I like to see. And maybe what I want to do is play some RSI play here. So maybe the RSI is a certain reading. Let's say it's a buy signal. So maybe the RSI is telling us it's below 20. So that's going to be interesting because that's going to be stocks that are 18 bucks that are telling us to buy. And we could see things making a 1 month low. We could see common stock. We could see stocks in the NYSE. We could see a lot of different things. We could see stocks. Let's see if I could type in dividend. Maybe we could pay a dividend. So dividend yield. Let's say below. Now let's make it above 0.1. So now I'm looking at stocks that are buys that pay a dividend of 0.1. and I have 71 stocks that match that category, and they're all in here. We have Fox, we have MetLife, we have PWR, we have SAL, PFG. A lot of these stocks are telling us to buy on the RSI. They pay a dividend, and I just found that with the scan feature. Really cool things that you can do yourself. Next thing is the text notes. You can add text. You can basically make lists of things on here. I don't use that. The Pine editor. This is super cool. You can script things. This is exactly how I made my only indicator. So basically, the Pine editor is a great way for you to program your indicator, your strategy, and see how it works. On the screen below is the indicator I made personally, and I just did that with 18 lines using Pine editor. What you can do next is, once you have a strategy, you can use a strategy tester, and this allows you to see if things work over time the way you think they do. For example, if I'm buying RSI stocks at 20 every time they hit 20 and selling them when they hit 40, does that work long term? Is that a good strategy? You can actually literally test it right here, and it's going to show you P&L, all that stuff. So let's just see. I'm going to show you my script. I'm not going to show you the text on it, but I do want to show you basically what the strategy tester is saying for the market mover. So if I go to indicators and strategies, my scripts, alert strategy, as we can see, we have no data there. Let's pop this back for the SPY. So the SPY, super cool. We have 14 trades closed, a 64% probable percentage, profitability, sorry, and a 1.6% profit factor, as well as a max drawdown of $130 and an average trade of $6 for the win, it looks like. And we have $94 net profit, and this time frame is a long time. So it actually shows you on the screen when it entered these trades. And I'm just going to go out to, yeah, there we go. So the further you go out, the more you can see. But we've entered a lot of trades up here. And let's just click up and see it really quick. So this is all the trades from the script. And this is super exciting for all those nerdy people that want to know basically where the editor got in and out. So right here is our first long position, and then we exit our long position here. So we made about $6, and we obviously could have got it at 234, but that's just didn't happen. So if I type in another stock, let's see how it reacted to that. This stock, it actually lost money. It lost $195, and the max drawdown was $787. Let's check out Netflix. This stock, it lost $24. So depending on how you program your strategy, you'll know in the past whatever years of data if it worked out or not. Lastly, Trade Panel. Again, you can hook up any of these and start trading, and you don't need another broker to trade. You can do it all on here, which is pretty sweet. So that's how you use this. This is mainly what I use. The last thing I want to go over is basically how you use the front page of Tradingview and how much it costs, how you can get a discount. Pretty cool. And that's it. And we're going to finish up with those things. They also have Corona stats up for some reason. Like we want to be looking at this every single minute. But on the main screen, we're going to show you all the community features, including ideas, markets, scripts, screeners, all that. So if you hit stock screener, there's a lot of people out there that have made stock screeners for you. You can implement their own ones without really doing the work yourself. You can also go to the scripts and just check out RSI, and it's going to show you what RSI is, kind of like a manual on it. So top authors for RSI, and then we have some other guys who've made their own RSI and just talked about strategies behind it. So if you want to understand RSI and trading with it, this is pretty sweet. We have some guy that made an ultimate momentum indicator. And it might be similar to RSI. That's probably why they're showing it here. But as you can see, this guy's got green dots and red dots and blue dots and have no clue. But he's got a lot of information down here on how it works. as well as the code. So if you want to just copy in that code, put it on your screen, you could do that, and you could steal his indicator right there. So that's extra indicators. That's the community feature. And the last thing I want to show you is, people are giving out trade setups all the time. And that's pretty exciting because they can show you their thought level on it and how they're setting things up, and you can learn from other people. So here's this guy talking about Bitcoin. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin for some reason. We have a key level of support, key level of resistance. He's thinking that this false breakout is going to lead to a move to the bottom, which is going to be a move to the support, because resistance to support seems pretty likely. And that is a good setup, but he could talk about the reasons why in here, how to trade it. He says put your stop loss a little bit above that, which is normally what I would do. He's also got a Telegram channel. He's got a lot of other things, a YouTube channel. So this guy seems like he's crushing it in the world. I don't know who he is, but maybe I should get on this. It seems pretty sick. He's got 300 likes. He's got 41 comments. So this is a pretty popular platform for people to go on. Bitcoin all over the place. I don't know if I hit a Bitcoin thread, but this is trading ideas. You can do educational ideas, get some ideas on how to learn new things. We got Dow Jones. This guy's talking about maybe why we're dropping. Who knows? 5 years. And this is everything that's happened since 1983. Maybe all the bad things. But this is another way you could just learn. And I'm sure at the bottom he's got some group. Yeah, so he's got lots of groups going on. So I have a trading group. I'm not one to knock these guys, but it seems like the play here is post a lot and drive people to groups. And it seems like a lot of people have those. And the last thing is you got streams, which is your streams of, you can follow someone live, which is cool, live trading streams. You also have like a YouTube, which is coming on here, which is pretty exciting. So I think stream is coming, and it's going to be pretty exciting, and a lot of people are going to be on here. So that might be something you want to check out. And the last thing is, let's just go over pricing, because I'm not getting paid for you being here, but I want to show you how to save as much money as possible like I did. So when you pay for a year, it costs you about $200 to $600, like $150 to $600 depending on what you get. And what you get down here is just based off of how many alerts you can get to your cell phone, how many indicators you can add to your screen, and it's kind of a bummer. Let's see, charts per tab. You can add 4, you can add 8 if you're on premium. So charts per tab can be exciting because you can watch multiple things at one moment. You can also have, let's see how many drawing tools, 50 data indicators. So check this out. Indicators per chart. This one's a tough one. If you're on the basic plan, you get 3. It's a really small amount, and it's definitely hard to trade and maximize that with only 3. When you up it to the pro level, you get 5. Pro plus, you get 10. Premium, you get 25. So there's a lot of increase as you go higher and higher. Alerts, you get webhooks if you're on the other 3, and you get second-based alerts if you're on the last one. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely nice to get alerts, and if you can get them to your cell phone and fast, it can definitely help you make money. So I can justify the cost of that pretty easily. Scanners, you get all the scanners pretty quick on that one. And data, you get data, social. There's not too much different. I mostly am looking at indicators and alerts, and I need this thing where I protect my code because I don't want to give away my indicator for free. I want to honor those in the premium group. So I am premium on this. I'm paying the most per year, unfortunately. But the best thing is if you sign up for a free trial, let's say you sign up for 7 or 14 days for free, I forget what they get. If you wait till the very last day, I think they'll give you 50% off. So really important that if you want to stay with them, you want to make sure you wait as long as possible, and they're going to give you the best price if you do that. And if you renew, what you can do though is tell them you don't want to renew, and they'll also give you like 50% off, because that 50% off doesn't last forever. So as you can see, I'm premium, and I've gotten this for about $300 a year when it's normally $600. And this is all because I've told them multiple times I'll probably cancel if they keep charging me $600. But that's Tradingview, and that's my favorite place to go, and it's probably going to be more and more exciting as they add streams and videos and all that stuff. So if you're curious on more stuff when it comes to trading, if you want a video on how to chart like a pro, make sure you check the video to the right of me. Peace. In this video, I'm going to teach you about the 10 best indicators you can add to your trading platform, your trading arsenal, to give you the edge in the stock market. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about these